Hello everyone, this is Gayle, and I have this Shamrock Wreath form that I got at Dollar Tree, and I got it last year. I don't know if they will have them this year or not, but I really need to be better in using the things that I buy. I have a whole room full of things that I bought to use, and some of them I don't even know why I bought them because I don't remember what it was I was going to do with them. So I need to start doing some of these things. So I'm going to attempt to do a Shamrock Wreath using this wreath form, and the only green mesh I have is 18-inch mesh. And because this is a shaped wreath, I don't know that it's going to maintain the integrity of the shape, but I'm going to give it a try. But because this here only has the two bars and there's nothing in the middle to hold anything, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it in this green burlap ribbon that I also got at Dollar Tree. Look at these heavy-duty scissors my son got me for Christmas. They will cut anything, I think. And let me throw it. I'm not sure how I'm going to do the bottom unless I do something like this. And I might do that. Let me see how this is going to work. I'm just going to cut a piece of this burlap ribbon. This also came from Dollar Tree. And I'm going to fold it in half. And I'm going to put it across this bottom only because I need to make sure that this bottom doesn't show when I wrap the rest of it. Let me put the pretty side on the top. I don't know why I'm worried about, or better yet, I'll just cut this even. Cut that raggedy side off. I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm just going to hot glue this way. And I may even do it at an angle, since this is at an angle, and hope that my other ribbon will cover up this corner. Now I'm just going to use my hot glue gun. Oh, and I shouldn't have. I need to put something underneath this. It's going to go through the ribbon onto my mat. Where's my little silicone? I have a little silicone mat. Let me get that real quick. Sorry about that. I wasn't thinking when I started. And I'll just secure this on this side too, because I don't want it flopping around. And what I might do is trim this off. This way, so that the other ribbon will wrap around it well. Okay, now on the back, I'm going to glue the, let's see, let me make a little lip. Put a little bit of hot glue in here. And start here with the wrap. I'm gonna just attach that with a little clip to hold it so I don't have to hold it with my fingers and get glue all over me. Let that sit for a minute to where the glue sets. And let me see if I can just wrap this around how this is going to do. I've never done this before, so I'm not sure how this is going to work. I thought this would be easier than trying to put mesh on this part of the wreath. Just pull it tight so that it makes the shape of the stem of the shamrock. And just keep wrapping till you get up to the end. Now you can use ribbon. You could even take mesh. I've got some extra mesh that I was working with the other day that I've already cut. I could use that to wrap this. But I just thought this would look nice. I'm going to snip this off. You can see it's curling because of the way it's coming off the roll. Snip this at an angle this way. And again, add some hot glue. Press it on there, and again I'm just going to use these little Dollar Tree clips to hold it. And it doesn't look bad. I think I'm going to like that, especially by the time I get the mesh on here. It's going to look good. While that's setting up, let me show you what else I got. I got this at Dollar Tree. It is the cutest little leprechaun. There's the hat, and Happy St. Patrick's Day, and then there's his feet. So, depending on how this looks, I might put his hat at the top, put Happy St. Patrick's Day here in the middle, and then at the bottom have his feet hanging down. But we'll see. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't even know if this method is going to work with this 21-inch mesh. So let me pull these off. So I'm done with the hot glue gun. Let me turn that off. Which means I'm done with my mat. Now this is not my regular place for making wreaths. I've explained this before in my other wreath tutorials. I'm in the process of, I have another workstation where I'll work on my wreaths. It has a little bit more space, but it's not set up for video, but I'm working on it. I've almost got it ready. course, I don't know by then whether I'll be using wreath or not, making the wreaths or not. I'm kind of on a roll right now. Get a piece of tape to hold this. I don't have have wreath pins I usually use, but of course it's over at my other desk. So I can put this away. Okay, I have a couple of green zip ties. Oh, I picked up a white one while I did that. And I believe those came from Dollar Tree also. And I have some of the green sparkly pipe cleaners, or chenille stems, whatever you want to call it, that I have cut in half. And then here's my mesh. Now, I already gathered this. All I did was take from one end to the other and just gathered it up. But I already gathered it. Let me take I'm going to take a green zip tie. And can you see how that's going in? It's going underneath this center bar, crossways, because it's going to have to hold this. And I'm going to take this, and I'm going to try to keep the mesh on this side of the bar so it doesn't close up the inside too much. Although maybe it doesn't really matter, but I'm going to go in on the outside. This is only 3 bars, which is another reason I was having a hard time doing a wreath. But I'm going to just stick this through the bottom bar. I might have to take this out. This is probably the hardest part of the whole thing, is getting this attached. But I'm going to attach it right here into this center bar. Let me pull it through a little bit more so I have more to hold on to. And I'm going to take, I think I just dropped my green zip tie on the floor. It's cold here in Virginia, and I am wearing a sweatshirt, which is really keeping me warm, but it's also, sorry, I had glue. It's also catching everything. So let me just zip this nice and tight. Cut off the end. Get rid of some of these things. I've got all these things everywhere that I brought over. Now you can choose to trim this off now or later. I will go ahead and trim this off now, just to make it a nub instead of this big bushy thing. Now we're ready to start. Now, let's see if I can get this to where you can see what I'm doing. This crossbar is going to be my beginning. Now normally you make a 10 or a 12-inch bubble when you do a bubble, but because this is a shaped wreath and I need to try to maintain the integrity of the shape, I'm going to make this a 7, maybe an 8-inch bubble. And see, this is one side, this measures, I'm just going down to my 0, and I'm going to pinch it right here. I'm going to pull it up, and I'm going to take one of these pipe cleaners, or chenille stems, whatever you want to call it, and I'm going to attach it to these 2 bars, the 2 outside bars. Actually, this first one might go through where the stem is, but it's still going to be across 2 bars. And let me see if I can show you better turning it over. Probably not, because it's... But here's the chenille stems. I'm going to just twist them as tight as I can. 2 or 3 times. And this is going to make a bubble. This is like the bubble method. But I'm not going to pull this, because it's 21-inch mesh, I'm not going to bubble it way out, because I don't want it to get too bubbly, but I want it to be bubbly enough to look pretty. Of course, with one, it's not going to look pretty anyway. And you push that up, and you go to the next one. 8. There's 8. Take another chenille stem. You put it over this way first. And I'm not going to turn it over this time because it's easier to just grab these ends and twist. And shove up. This is in an odd place because it's right where the wreath is put together. There. And then just pull that out just a little bit, just to make it fluffy. And this section we will probably get 4 or 5, something like that. And I don't even know that this is going to work. I've got a string. And I don't know where it came from. I'll have to... There. The only thing I'm using my cutting mat for now is just to measure my 8-inch poofs. So I'll bring this up here. And do another chenille stem. We do this all the way around until you can't get any more. Yes, it is around 2. I didn't think it was around 2 bars. You need to put it around 2 bars, otherwise it's just going to sling around. And see, this one needs more poofing because it's kind of small. But and push it up. So that's 3. And I can probably get 3 more in there. And you just keep doing this over and over and over till you get all the way around. Your wreath. Now, what I'd like to do is I like to do one section at a time and then go around and take care of my pipe cleaner ends on the back. But I have not tried this on this wreath form before, and it's been a problem for me because of the shape of the wreath and the fact that it's only got a couple of wires. I was really struggling on what kind of design, I have to turn this one over, what kind of design to do. Push it up. And then spread it out. Now if you use thinner mesh, you can really poof this out really pretty. But I think this is going to be pretty. Can you hear my cat? My cat doesn't like me in here talking. He wants me to be brushing him. His name is Frankie, and he is our problem cat. We rescued him, oh, I don't know, 4 years ago. And he was very, very shy. And the reason we adopted him, we were looking for a cat. We wanted a low maintenance cat. Because at the time I had senior greyhounds and I didn't want a kitten that was going to be playing with ears and tails and that kind of thing. And it was between two cats, one Fiona I think I can get one more. And Frankie. Well, Frankie, when they brought him in to show him to us, they told us that he was very shy, very timid, and we kind of felt sorry for him. My daughter and I have always rescued animals, and we felt sorry for him because he didn't show well. When they brought him into the room for us to look at him, he immediately went and got behind her purse in the corner and just kind of stood there. So my daughter decided she wanted to adopt Frankie. Now, I'll continue the story in a minute. Let me turn this over and show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take these chenille stem ends. I may trim them a little bit. And then tuck them in where they won't be seen on the back, because I will be selling this, and if you're making it for yourself, you may not care. But if I'm going to be selling something, I want it to look as nice on the back as I do on the front. And one way to do that is to just take care of all the little loose ends. Okay, so let me get those out of the way, and then the rest I'm just going to wrap back up inside. Just push them back up inside. They're not going to show because they're the same color as your mesh. But it gets a little overwhelming if you wait till the end. And see, now that looks nice on the back. So I'll go to the next section and I'll continue to do this all the way around. Okay, I'm running a little low on this roll. This was not a full roll. I had opened this and trying to figure out other ways of working on this wreath. And I didn't I didn't think I used that much, but this is not an expensive roll of mesh. This is something that it was gifted to me by someone that was no longer going to be doing wreaths. And I'll have to look on the next roll that I get as to how long it is. I was a little surprised that it was only 18 inches wide, because most is 20 or 21 inches wide. But I'm at the end of my roll. I've got this much left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this through all the way to the back. And I'm going to do the same thing I did when I started. Is I'm going to take a zip tie, and I moved them so I wouldn't knock them in the floor. Now I don't know where they are. They're probably under, here they are. And for those of you that have noticed that I lost a thumbnail, don't be too upset. These are press-on nails, and I got them for my grandson's wedding. And I didn't know how well they would hold up doing my crafts, and evidently I use my thumb more than anything, so that one, it hasn't come up. But anyway, what I'm doing is I'm attaching this to the bar with another zip tie. Trim the zip tie, turn it towards the side so it doesn't scratch anyone's door, and then I can take my scissors and trim this part off. So I'm going to turn the camera off for a minute and go get my other roll of mesh, and I'll be right back. Okay, this is the mesh that she gave me, and I just noticed it's only 15 feet long. And most rolls of mesh that you get are 30 feet. So hopefully 2 of these will complete this wreath. It's going to be tight because I've only done 1 full petal and used 1 roll, and I've got 2 petals left. So I might have to not space them quite so close together as I would like. Well, there we go. Couldn't get the end out of the tube. But you know, when somebody gives you something, you just do the best you can with what you got. It's that much I didn't have to spend. Oh, I don't know. Yes, it is. It has a purple shine to it, unless it's picking up the purple from my shirt. Because over there it looks green. It's amazing what a good pair of scissors can do for you. So I'm going to start off again the same way I started the other roll. Put this aside. But I'm going to open up my end. And you can see how I gathered it. I just took it and gathered just like this. Pinch it together. This needs to come from the front, or else my mesh is going to be on the bottom, and that's not going to do me any good. Sorry about that, but when I make a video, you get the mistakes and everything. Let me just trim off the raggy part. There. Now I'll just keep going. So again, I'm going to put this on fast forward so you don't have to watch the whole thing, but yet you can watch the, you can watch the whole process, but it won't take you as long as, I know you don't want a 2-hour video. So I'll be right back. Well, I'm down to the last few inches on my second roll, and I still have this much left to do. So this is not going to be enough mesh for this wreath. So what I'm going to do, this was an epic fail, but it did maintain the shape of the shamrock. And it does have purple in it. I didn't realize it had purple in it. I thought it was coming from my purple shirt, but my shirt is black, so that doesn't work. I don't know if there's a way I could take this apart and maybe spread this out a little bit. I might be able to do that. But in the meantime, I'm going to stop the camera and see what I can do to remedy this situation. So I'll be back. Okay, I'll tell you what I did. I had too many poofs in this side over here. So what I did, I hope that doesn't look like it's all, yeah it is, it's just the way I poofed it. It didn't need as many over in this section, the first section I did, as I put in there. What I did was I disconnected the end and brought it over here and then brought these over, if that makes any sense to you whatsoever. But it worked. It got everything spread out, got it all the way around my mesh. But I'm seeing this part of my frame. Try to spread it out as far as I can. You just have to play with this. And of course with mesh you don't want to play too much or it's going to start to unravel. I don't care how you fix it. I'm just pulling this towards the center to see if I can cover up that frame in the center. And we would have had the same problem on the outside if we had put them on the two inside rings. So let me just go around and spread this out a little bit more. Some of these were pulled more to the outside than to the inside anyway. But I forgot what I was saying. It's what happens when you get old. And that pretty much took care of it. Alright, so now we've got our sign. Let me get it off the floor. I just knocked it down. And I'm going to peel this label off only because it was sticking out on one side. And I'm going to pull these ribbons off. See, I didn't bring any pliers over here. I've got more tools, and a lot of them were from my polymer clay days, but they come in handy for other things too. There, I got that one. I'm just taking the staples out by pulling the ribbon, since I don't have anything else to take them out with right now. There's the hat. I love that. I'll have to get my pliers because some of these just aren't coming out. That one, this one right here, didn't come out. I don't know. If I can wiggle, there I did. Wiggled it out. So this is my Happy St. Patrick's Day. Now all I have to do is his feet, and I think on his feet I'm just going to cut the ribbon. Matter of fact, I may leave the ribbon. I may use that to help hold his feet on. So the first thing I want to do, let me move my wreath out of the way. Get rid of some of my wreath trash. Is I'm going to want to, and I don't know, I shouldn't have cut all of these. I need to attach some pipe cleaners to this to hold it. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not sure about this. Let me go get my pliers and my wire, and I'll be right back. Okay, I decided not to use wire. I'm just going to use white pipe cleaners because I think that will work. And I'm going to get out 4 of them. And I'm going to put one on each corner because I'm not really sure where this is going to hit on the wreath frame. Say that 10 times fast. So what I'm going to do is I turned on my glue gun again. Don't know if it's been enough to heat it up. I'll do this afterwards, let this heat a little bit longer. I'm going to pretty much eyeball the center and use my staple gun. Which didn't shoot a staple, but maybe there's none in here. Nope, it's empty. Sorry, be right back. Okay, the only problem with living with someone else, like my daughter, whom I love dearly, is that we share things, and I remember her asking me to use my stapler, and I haven't seen it since, and I can't find it anywhere. So I'm going to use my extra long stapler. This is for getting in those places that you have problems getting into. And see if this works. Hopefully it won't go all the way through. If it does, I'll have to take it out and put something underneath it. Well, it did go all the way through. And what is it here? So what I'm going to do is I've got some cardstock here, and I'm just going to fold it and fold it. I better fold it again. I'll tell you what, let me fold this in half, and I'll just use a half a sheet. Kind of boost it a little, because these signs are very thin. You can see how thin they are, and a regular staple just goes right through it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in half and fold it into thirds. I'll show you how I improvise things. I'm going to glue this down. While this is setting up, I'll do the other one. And I'll glue this one down. Probably should put glue on the other one, since that hangs over a little bit more. And the glue itself will add some volume. So I'm going to lay that on here. Actually, since I've got this extra big cutter, I'm going to cut this in half so I can use half for the other side. I'm going to lay that there. This is the one I used. And lay that there. And put that inside my stapler. Perfect. I'll put 2 staples in it. And I may finish it up with some hot glue just to make sure. All right, let's give this another try. Sorry this is getting to be such a long video. I didn't intend for it to be this long. I think I'm going to just twist these a little bit just so I'll keep them apart when they get to the bottom. Sorry you can't see what I'm doing. I'm just twisting these a little bit, just to keep them together as they go through the wreath. The next wreath I do, I'm going to have my wreath station set up. So let's see. And let's put it on the middle wire. I'm putting it on this crossbar so it has something to keep it. I'm not going to trim these off yet until I see how this is going to look. Actually, I'm not even going to attach the bottom yet till I see if it's where I want it to be. It looks okay. I need to move these. It keeps sticking to my wreath. So because this is up a little bit, I'm not going to be able to attach it to a crossbar, but I will put it on the second wire. Let me see if that's going to show. No, that does fine. Sorry if my head got in the way. Don't know if it did or not. Where's the center wire? There it is. Now again, I'm going to turn it over and make sure it's sitting the way I want it. And it is. Okay, and his hat, I could sit it there over top of the wreath, or I could sit it up here, but I think it would probably stay better there. But again, I need to fix his hat. Oops. Dropping everything. That's what I get for trying to work on a place that is just, I only have like, well, you can't see, but not much more room than what you see on my camera to work in, and it's really difficult. Especially when you have a bunch of tools sitting around. So let me take another piece of cardstock. I'm going to reinforce this with a little bit of hot glue. And just give this a minute to set up and I'll be back. Okay, I'm sorry I've had to take so many breaks, but I'm going to take this now, the hat, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to twist these together just enough so that I know on the other side they go together. Not enough to keep them together, but just enough to get them through the mesh. And I'm going to place my hat right there. I think that is so cute. Which means we're going to run right through here and right through here for the top. Well, I see one side, don't see the other. See what I mean about knowing which one goes together? So I'll just, well, there's a crossbar right there. I think I'll put it on the other side of the crossbar so it will stay. There we go. And I'll do the same on this one. Actually, I should have done it on the crossbar at the bottom. Let me turn this so you can see what I'm doing. This one I did at the crossbar up here at the top. I'm going to move it to the crossbar here at the bottom. It just is more out of the way that way. And that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to go underneath that crossbar. There goes something else. These wreaths just grab hold of everything. Let me just make sure it's where I wanted it to be. I'll push that one through there and this one through here. I want to keep it up as much as I can, so I'm going to come back up to that same crossbar after I untwist this a little bit. I want it up a little bit. So let's do it in the exact same spot. I'm going to have to turn it. Just gotta double check and make sure it's, yeah, it's exactly where I wanted it to be. Now the legs, I want to just kind of hang out the bottom. I know you can't see that. Let me see if I move my camera just a little bit, you might be able to see better. But if, let me just see where I stand on this. Okay, I've got these two ribbons that are already attached, so I may as well make use of them. But I think what I'm going to do is put a little bit of hot glue here. Oh, I forgot I turned my glue gun off. We'll have to wait a minute. While I'm waiting for my hot glue, let's trim these white pipe cleaners, because we don't want all of that there. Because the white is just a little bit too much of a contrast to the green. So you don't want a lot of that white, and then we can tuck in these ends. And then I just spread the tips going in opposite directions so that in case there's a problem, they'll still hold. Like I say, I don't trust these very well. But just kind of make them go flat down in there. And now would also be a good time to go around and just, I've trimmed my pipe cleaners as I went, but now's a good time to go in and make sure those are all pressed to the inside. Sorry. Have to go back, and this would be straight, which means it would go there. Or do I want it behind it? No, I want it in front of it, I think. If I put this in front of the stem, it shows better, which is probably what I ought to do. Let me straighten this up. I need to get it so that it looks like his feet are coming right there. Oops. It's going to have to go like that. Okay, so I guess I'll do it this way, and I'll just put some hot glue here in this corner. Make sure it's lined up straight. Don't want him hanging crooked. Turn it over. Whoops, didn't wait long enough. Probably need to add a little more hot glue now. I've got a little bit too much hot glue right along here. I'm just going to remove that while it's still wet. I have these little knitting needles left over from my polymer clay days, and they come in handy sometimes. Let me use a little clip. That one's not going to be long enough. Did I bring a longer clip over here? I thought I did. This isn't the one I'm looking for. I don't know if it's going to be long enough or not. I need one of my blue ones. Anyway, so let me turn this over now that it's where we need it. And I'm just going to use these ribbons I might just glue it to itself. And just trim these off at the bottom. And once that glue sets, we should be about done. Now what I would like to do is put a hanger on the bow while this is setting. And if they use a hook, they can just hook it on here. But if they want to use something else, there's no crossbar here in the middle. I could use another green one. I'd rather have one with a crossbar so I could put it this way so it'll hang straight. If I do this, it's going to twist. So I may not put a hanger on this unless I use a pipe cleaner, and I just put my green ones away, but I have a feeling if I look around, there might be one on the floor somewhere or under here somewhere. But there we go, and I know you can't see this very well. This is as high up as my camera will go. But I think this is really cute. I will take a picture and put it at the end of this video. But I'm going to just put a pipe cleaner on the back to use as a hanger. I don't want to use a white one, so I'll go back and get a green one to match all the other. Of course, the white would match. But so I hope you like this. Sorry I had so many issues, but you know, it was an experiment, and this is a difficult shape to work with. But hopefully you enjoyed it, and we'll try to, if you have one of these hanging around, one of these shamrock shapes, maybe you'll give it a try with 18-inch mesh. Instead of the, normally when using a wreath like this, I would use the 5.5 or 6-inch mesh and use that as a pull through. But I just wanted to try this and see how it worked. Don't know if anybody's going to like the purple in with the green, but hey, it's St. Patrick's Day. Anything goes, right? So thanks for watching. Come back again for another video. Bye-bye.